Hey everyone, Katrina here, and today we're going to talk about trigonometry quadrant-based questions. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this and watch to the end to see the examples play out. Okay, so I have some previous videos on trigonometry so that you can learn the full basics. You can learn about the quadrant method, identities, SOHCAHTOA, as well as special triangles. Today we're going to dive right into some examples and I'll explain the process as we go. So the first example we're going to do is we want to solve the following trig problem. So we have cosine of 5 pi over 6. So in this case, we're going to be doing our problems in radians. So this in here, the 5 pi over 6, this is our angle or radians that we're looking at, and we want to basically figure out what is the ratio corresponding to this angle. So we have to follow a series of steps. So step 1 over here is we want to draw out our unit circle and apply the cast rule and see what we get. So the cast rule tells us which ratios are going to be positive or negative in which quadrant. So here in quadrant 1, everything is positive. In quadrant 2, only sine is positive. In quadrant number 3, only tangent is positive. And in quadrant 4, only cosine is positive. Okay, so what does that mean for us over here? So first of all, we see that we have cosine. So we have to the step 2 is going to be to determine what quadrant is our angle falling under. So if we do the full unit circle, let's start from 0 to pi over 2 to pi to 3 pi over 2, and it goes all the way back to 2 pi. So we need to determine which quadrant does 5 pi over 6 fall in. Well, it's bigger than pi over 2, but it's less than pi. So that means that it's going to fall under quadrant number 2. So then our second step here is to draw the line in quadrant number 2. So we are going from the principal axis, which is this one over here, and then we measure the angle by starting from this axis and going to our hypotenuse, to our radius line, to our arm. So here we can see that this angle is our 5 pi over 6. Okay, so in order to solve this problem, we want to go ahead and kind of draw this full triangle over here. And in order to figure out the ratio, it'd be good for us to determine what is this internal angle or reference angle, alpha. So how can we determine our alpha? So we can use our pi as reference. So we can do pi minus 5 pi over 6 will give us our alpha. And if we use common denominators, we get that our alpha equals to pi over 6. So we can kind of zoom in right over here, and we can see that this angle is pi over 6. And now we're going to our step 3. We want to determine what are the side lengths of our triangle. In this case, we have a very special one because pi over 6 corresponds to a special triangle. Please refer to my other videos on special triangles if you want the full crash course on that. But what I'll tell you today is this is the special triangle for pi over 6. Across from pi over 6, we have a value of 1. Adjacent to it, we have root 3, and the hypotenuse or radius of this is going to be 2. Now we have to determine whether each of our side lengths are positive or negative. Starting with the radius or the hypotenuse, that is always going to be positive, so we can leave that as positive too. In this case, the 1 over here, it's above the x-axis, so it's going to be positive 1. What about our root 3? Well, this is on the negative side of our x-axis, so that has to be negative root 3. So now that we have our triangle all written out, the last thing we have to do is our step 4, which is actually figure out what is our ratio. So if we look at cosine, so let's say we have some cos theta, it equals to, following SOHCAHTOA, we can use it because we have a right angle triangle. We have adjacent over hypotenuse. And in terms of our Cartesian plane and our circle, this corresponds to our x value over our r value, which is our radius. So that means that we will have cos 5 pi over 6 equals to our x value over here, which is negative root 3, which we grabbed from our triangle, divided by our radius value, our r value, which is positive 2. And that here is the final answer to this question. So now we're going to do a second example, and we're going to do it the other way around. So in our first example, I gave you the angle and we had to solve for the side length. In this example, I'm going to give you the side length, but we need to solve for the angle. So here we're going to start with cosecant theta equals to negative 2. And I want you to give me the answers for theta, where theta is between 0 and 2 pi. So that is our main domain. It's our first unit circle. So we can go ahead and use our ratios that we have for cosecant. In one of my previous videos about trig ratios, I tell you all of them on the side. I can rewrite them for you over here. So we have that sine theta equals to y over r, cos theta equals to x over r, and then tan theta equals to y over x. Then we have all the reciprocals, such that cosecant theta equals to r over y. We've got secant theta equals to r over x, and then cotangent theta equals to x over y. So if you have these memorized, you can go ahead right away and use our cosecant theta ratio and understand that it's r over y. If you don't want to do that step, you can do it in terms of sine. You can right away recognize that cosecant is the reciprocal for sine, meaning that cosecant theta equals to 1 over sine theta. So, and we know that this equals to negative 2. So we can rearrange this equation such that we have our sine theta on the numerator, and then by rearranging it, we get that it equals to negative 1 over 2. Essentially, we just take the reciprocal of negative 2, so you can imagine you have negative 2 over 1, and then by taking the reciprocal, you simply switch the values, which gives us our negative 1 over 2. So now that we have this, we have to go ahead and put this on our unit circle to help us determine what angles we have. So the problem states that our domain is going from 0 to 2 pi. So let's write this out. We've got 0, pi over 2, pi, and then on our bottom we've got 3 pi over 2, and then we finish the circle back at 2 pi right over there. So now we have to figure out which quadrants it's going to fall in. So this is where we're going to go ahead and use our cast rule again. So we see that our answer, or that our ratio, is negative. So where is sine negative? It's negative in the bottom 2 quadrants, in quadrant number 3 over here and in quadrant number 4 over here. So now we have our 2 triangles. We can turn them into right angle triangles using the bow tie rule here, and we can fill in the blanks. So we know that sine here equals to y over r. So that means that our y value, or our opposite value, equals to negative 1. So let's fill in those values. So we've got negative 1, and then our radius or hypotenuse here equals to 2. Okay, so again, we can see that this is a special triangle like we saw before. This is the 1, 2, root 3 triangle. So that means we're going to have positive root 3 here, but then on the other side of the y-axis, we have negative root 3. So now that we filled out our special triangle, we can go ahead and fill in what our reference angle will be, what our alpha would be. So we already know from our special triangle that our little alpha here is going to be pi over 6, because this is a same triangle we saw before. But that's a beginning point, but that's not the final answer. Because remember, in trigonometry, in order to find the final answer, you have to start from our principal axis here and then draw a line to wherever our radius is. So we technically have two alphas we're looking for. We'll call this two thetas, theta 1 and then theta 2. Okay, so let's see how we can determine that. So we basically have to use references from our unit circle to determine both of these. So let's start with theta 1. So let's just look at this one over here. So, sorry about that. So for our theta 1, we have to, let me just draw this back for us. Some things like to disappear. So our theta 1, we're starting principal axis and drawing it over. So we see that it goes a full pi and then plus the alpha, plus the pi over 6. So plus pi over 6. And then so that over there is going to equal to pi plus pi over 6, which is 7 pi over 6. And then for a theta 2, we have to go all the way around. So we're going to start from our principal axis and go all the way here. So we can use 2 pi as our reference, which is the full circle. So we can do 2 pi minus our alpha minus pi over 6. And what does that give us? That gives us 11 pi over 6. And those are going to be our two answers to this problem. So always be aware that usually whenever you're given a full circle domain, so between a domain that consists of 2 pi or 360 degrees, most of the time you will have two angles unless you're on a maximum or minimum of the function. So never stop just at one. Look at the quadrant, figure out where is it negative or where is it positive, and draw your two lines so that you don't lose an answer here. So you would say then, therefore, our theta 1 equals to 7 pi over 6, and therefore theta 2 equals to 11 pi over 6. And both of these thetas, theta 1 and theta 2, are part of the domain between 0 and 2 pi. So they're an element of the set, so meaning that we're abiding by the domain restrictions that the problem set for us, and our two solutions fall within that. So if you enjoy this video, please drop a like and definitely comment any questions that you have. I'll get back to you very soon, and I look forward to hearing from you. And yeah, please subscribe for more videos. I got tons of fun math coming your way. See you next time.